Kevin, roll call, please.
Mr. Dickerson. Here. Ms. Gerber.
Here.
Mr. Campbell.
Here.
Ms. Krafka.
Here.
Mr. Thacker.
Here.
Ms. Elliott.
Here.
All present.
All right, stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight. We've got a pretty busy schedule, so we're going to jump right into it. Everybody have a copy of the April 23rd meeting minutes? Everybody had a chance to go over those? If so, and there's no changes, I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and second. Kevin, roll call, please.
Mr. Dickerson. Yay. Ms. Gerber.
Yay.
Mr. Campbell.
Yay.
Ms. Krafka.
Sorry. Yay.
Mr. Thacker.
Yay.
Ms. Elliott.
Yay.
Passes 6-0.
Thank you. Next order of business we have the approval of the bills. Everybody have a copy of the bills? Give you a few minutes to go through that. Any questions on the bills?
What did we, I see one made out to Tall Trees HOA here.
Which one is that? Go ahead and give me a number.
Repair access bridge, 17329.
17329.
It's the bridge we put in over at the cemetery in Demanding.
That is correct.
And the fence.
Oh, yeah.
Yay.
So there was already a bridge there, or?
No,
No.
build a
No,
bridge.
we built a bridge and put a gate in.
So it shouldn't say repair.
That's what the original invoice said.
I'm almost wondering, Kevin, if that's not the sprinkler water system out front of Tall Trees. Did you get a bill for that also?
No.
I will check, because I know there was a bill on that too. We had to repair that sprinkler system from the roadway project. And for some reason, that amount seems like that might have been that. But I'll check. But we did do a bridge also, so a bridge and a gate. So.
But that's not for the
I guess that would be to whoever we paid for the fence, right?
Correct.
For the fence itself is paid separate.
So,
Yeah, it's right. It's on there.
Hatton's fence,
Yeah.
17,337.
That charge is actually for the repair from the road project. The 800. That's what I was, because it was made out to reimburse the HOA.
So that's what that was.
do we need to amend that on there, or not?
We can amend it to repair of access bridge / roadway project.
For sprinkler system?
Well,
There's also some electric there.
there's some electric too. I mean, I don't know how to define, how.
I don't
Wanna break
know.
it down?
I don't care, just as long as, do we build a bridge with the money, or do we just repair stuff?
We did everything. Built a bridge, put a gate in, fixed the fence, put a new sprinkler system, fixed the electric,
But I mean, the
all for
$820.
$825.
No, that's separate. The gate.
Well, the gate would be Hatton fence, correct?
There's a 10-foot gate, I think.
Yep.
Repair work.
Actually, I think they've got one more sign they're saying it was illuminated, it's not illuminated. But they were doing landscaping today, so when that all gets done, we'll have to take care of that also. Any other questions or comments on these? Chuck, you got any?
No, that's the only one I was curious about.
All right, if not, I entertain a motion to pay the bills.
Motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Motion, I have a second. Kevin, roll call, please.
Mr. Dickerson. Yay. Ms. Gerber.
Yeah.
Mr. Campbell.
Yay.
Ms. Crafton.
Yay.
Mr. Thacker.
Yeah.
Ms. Elliott.
Yay.
Passes 6-0.
Go ahead and go into committee reports. Finance.
At our finance committee meeting, we discussed the estimates we received for upgrading and replacing the bulbs and some of the traffic lights on 125. That's the estimate thing I guess we all got today, or the quotation thing. We also discussed the permit fees and how they were going. There's also discussion about the denial. I guess, I don't know how many people realize that I don't think we got any of our grants. I think the biggest one in practice is a snowplow, so we'll have to figure something out with that. I think we're just gonna wait a few years, is kind of what was our thought, right?
Well, what we'll do is this year, we've got 2 trucks up and running and they're in good shape. We may look at a third possible used truck for around $30,000. We have that money there to do that with. So we can either do that or we can take that money and hang on to it, try to build it up bigger for the following year. So it's whatever council wants to do with it. But we do have money in there, around $30,000-$35,000 comfortably to purchase, but you couldn't purchase a new truck for that kind of price. They're about 52 to 72, depending on what you want on them. I'll go to this quotation Renee brought up at the last council meeting about the intersection of Oak Street. That first install, that would be install a third signal for a turn coming out of Oak Street. To do that would be roughly $3,000. The retrofitting is the existing 7 signals which are there with LED lights instead of the current light they have now. He said it would be a savings with the LED lights. They have the old style light bulbs. The LEDs would also be brighter. The upgrade for the PEDs would be the crosswalks. If you notice, the new ones have a countdown system. Ours are old ones. This would be basically pulling the guts out of those and retrofitting them, not the pole itself, just retrofitting those with the new countdown LEDs. And this replaced the 3 loops due to paving. When they go out here to pave Oak Street and Chapel, there are loops in the blacktop. So when they cut that blacktop down, they're going to cut down, I think, 3 to 6 inches. It will tear those loops out, so we will have to do that. We will have to replace those loops. And the nice thing, having him out this early to tell us about those loops, where when they're going to cut into that pavement, he'll come out, he'll cut down the side of that sidewalk to cut that loop off. So this way they won't rip out those loops. So he can cut those. They'll grind it, and he'll replace all the loops on both sides, so the lights will be back to working properly. So that we absolutely will have to do. We're not sure. I haven't heard anything from Claremont County other than they did bid it out. I'm not sure when we're going to get any road projects started for Amelia, other than it has been bid out, and we will have it done this year.
And I've got an email fired off to the county about letting us know beforehand so they can come out and cut those loops before they grind up the asphalt. So
Because normally they don't cut them. What happens is the contractor comes in and starts cutting it, and then he pulls them wires right out of the poles and the lights and everything. So we don't want that to happen. We definitely don't. That last quote is for 125 and Klein, and that would be putting LEDs in that also. He said the lighting itself, those poles can't can't hold those new style with the black, the poles can't hold them. But he said really when he looked at these are perfectly fine, just his suggestion was go with the LEDs. And the more you do, the cheaper the price. He said also once we do that, we need to notify Duke, and there'll be a price reduction on those lights because we are using LEDs. So
What about the one on 125 and the other one, the next one up from Klein? What? Huntsman. Yes.
I didn't have him look at it. If you want to, I can have him look at that one. You know, I thought you were more interested.
I
in
am
this
more,
one.
but you said if the price goes down, if all we would
Well,
be
he's
doing-
saying just on this quote alone, the more of this we do on
Oh,
this one,
okay.
the price will change
Gotcha,
and go
gotcha,
down.
gotcha.
So you can do one of these, you can do all of this, or you know, however council would want to move forward. But we definitely have to do the loops.
Yeah.
That wasn't quoted in the blacktopping pavement price, so that one we will have to do. And I was pleasantly surprised to see what it would cost. Because he said we probably got quoted on all new lighting with new poles.
Poles and everything.
But he wouldn't go that route. He would just go this route. That'd be
So
much
that would
easier.
just give us a turn signal from Oak onto 125 left.
Correct.
And what about from Church
You
or
wouldn't
Chapel?
There's
left?
no room because there's no turning
Okay,
lane.
no turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. So that one's already got a turning lane set up, not a huge to do. It would work, it would flow. But
Okay.
to do the other side, you would have to get that turning lane,
Okay.
so.
Perfect.
All right.
So when do we need a decision about this, or are we going ahead?
I think it would be safe to, we can probably wait until we find out when they're gonna do that road.
Okay.
And if you decide to do that with this loop, then I think that's when you look at the monies that we have and decide whether you wanna go through the whole. This quote's will be good for
Okay.
a little bit, so. And I would do it all at once. If they're gonna do the loops, they're
Yep.
gonna do the blacktop, that's when I would do the light change. Anything else on finance, Chuck? All right. Anything on safety?
No.
Well, that made that easy. All right, we will go into legislation. The first piece of legislation we have is supplemental appropriations. It is ordinance, Amelia Village, Ohio ordinance O-2013-21, an ordinance by the council of Amelia Village, Ohio, making supplemental appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2013 for Amelia Village. This time I need a motion to suspend the rules requiring 3 readings on 3 separate dates.
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion over this ordinance? Kevin, roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell,
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson. Yay. Ms. Elliott,
Yay.
Ms. Gerber,
Yay.
Ms. Crafton,
Yay.
Mr. Thacker.
Yay.
Passes 6-0.
This time I need a motion for the adoption of the ordinance.
So moved.
I have a motion, I have a second.
I'm sorry, who's seconded, please?
Mr. Thacker. Kevin, roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell,
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson. Yay. Ms. Elliott,
Yay.
Ms. Gerber,
Yay.
Ms. Crafton,
Yay.
Mr. Thacker.
Yay.
Passes 6-0.
All right, next ordinance we have is Amelia Village, Ohio ordinance O-2013-22, an ordinance making supplemental appropriations for current expenditures and other expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2013 for Amelia Village, Ohio. Is there any questions about this one? If not, I entertain a motion to suspend the rules on 3 separate dates and 3 readings.
So moved.
I have a motion, I have a second.
Second.
Motion, I have a second. Kevin, roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell,
Yay.
Mr. Mr. Dickerson,
Yay.
Ms. Elliott,
Yay.
Ms. Gerber,
Yay.
Ms. Crafton,
Yay.
Mr. Thacker.
Yay.
Passes 6-0.
Next piece of legislation is Amelia Village, Ohio Ordinance O-2013-23.
We have to do the adoption.
Yeah, we didn't adopt it.
My bad. Make a motion for the adoption of ordinance 0-2013-22.
So moved.
I have a motion, I have a second.
I'll second it.
I have a second. Kevin, roll call.
Mr. Campbell,
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson,
Yay.
Ms. Elliott,
Yay.
Ms. Gerber,
Yay.
Ms. Crafton,
Yay.
Mr. Thacker.
Yay.
Passes 6-0.
You guys are on it.
We gotta
Oh, wait,
keep you honest.
you guys aren't sleeping tonight. All right. Next piece of legislation is Amelia Village, Ohio Ordinance O-2013-23. It's an ordinance approving the village participation in a pre-tax contribution plan for the Ohio Police and Fire Pension Fund. Does anyone have any questions about this? I will refer you to Mr. Pyle over here.
Is this something that the police fund just says you're paying more?
There was a change in the law, I think it was January,
Yes.
and it was a complete revamp of the police and fire pension program, as well as public employees, state teachers, and all them. For financial stability, the State House decided to raise the contribution rates for police officers over the next 3 years. Currently, each officer has to pay 10% towards the fund. The village pays 19%. With these changes, the employees' share will increase to the percentages shown, but that same amount will not be included in calculating their income taxes. So it's almost a wash for the employees. They're still going to end up paying a little more, but they won't have to, pay as much in tax.
In other words, they get a little bit more in their paycheck.
Yeah.
I'm just here to answer questions.
That's it. I just wanted to make sure
It's no
it's
additional
handed down
cost
from
to
the
the
state.
village, right, it's just, many municipalities do this pickup provision. You're not actually paying it, you're just giving them that tax deduction that, is not counted towards their income for taxation purposes, income tax purposes.
And if the resolution ordinance is not passed, then their entire salary will be taxable. Right now, basically only 90% of it is taxed.
Anybody have any other questions? All right, thank you.
So it serves the first reading.
Are we doing that?
Yeah, we have until June 30th to submit this, is that correct?
Yes.
We have until June
Okay.
30th, so I thought we'd just do all three of them.
That will serve as the first reading. Make sure you guys hang on to that and bring it to the next two meetings. That way we won't have to recopy it. Okay. Save us a little paper. All right. I notice you stayed for this one.
I stayed for this one.
This Amelia, another piece of legislation, Amelia Village, Ohio Ordinance O-2013-24, an ordinance repealing ordinance number O-2013-02, amending the appointment of Julia B. Carney in the position of village solicitor and declaring an emergency. And I will let you go ahead and explain if you like.
I have accepted a new position at a new law firm, and so what I'm asking for in this ordinance is to repeal your ordinance appointing Julia Carney and the Manley Burke Law Firm as a solicitor for the village to Julia Carney and the Strauss Troy Law Firm as solicitor for the village. Your rates stay the same for my services and paralegal services at $100 an hour. I'm $150 per week. So that's basically the only change is that the law firm name would change.
And they also come with a team of other lawyers.
They do. They have several other municipal attorneys. The solicitor for Wyoming and what other community?
Miami Township.
Yeah, Miami Township. Joe Braun is with Strauss Troy with Miami Township, Claremont County. Emily Siebinger, who used to be with Manley Burke, is now with Strauss Troy. She has Woodlawn and the Village of Moscow. Matt Fellerhoff, who also used to be with Manley Burke and was a former solicitor for Woodlawn and Moscow before he went and took a position as a judge, and so he relieved himself of all his other lawyer commitments. So there is some additional municipal lawyers there who could back me up if I wanted to go on a vacation or something like that, which, I never do. It's a little bit larger law firm, so they have more lawyers doing different types of work as well.
Will this affect mayor, then we hire somebody from mayor's court?
No, it
No.
would not affect your magistrate for mayor's court or your prosecutor. They
Okay.
have separate agreements that run annually.
Okay.
I'd just like to say I've been very happy with Ms. Carney and everything she's done for us. We hit the ground running, and we're still running. So hopefully sooner or later we'll slow down a little bit, but for what it's worth.
Our former contract with Manley Burke allows for this.
Yes. Actually, you didn't have a contract. You had the ordinance, basically, that provides for it. And
Okay.
it's under Ohio ethics law, it's up to the client as to whether they want to stay with the firm or go with the attorney. So
Okay.
you as a client can make that determination.
Any other questions?
All I have.
All right, thank you. I'll go ahead and read this one more time. Amelia Village, Ohio, ordinance O-2013-24, and ordinance repealing ordinance number O-2013-02, amending the appointment of Julia B. Carney in the position of village solicitor and declaring an emergency. At this time, I need a motion to suspend the rules, requiring 3 readings on 3 separate bills.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. Kevin, roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell.
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson. Yay. Ms. Elliott.
Yay.
Ms. Gerber.
Yay.
Ms. Crafton.
Yay.
Mr. Thacker.
Yay.
Passes 6-0.
This time, I need a motion for the adoption of the ordinance.
So moved.
A motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Kevin, roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell.
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson. Yay. Ms. Elliott.
Yay.
Ms. Gerber.
Yay.
Ms. Crafton.
Yay.
Mr. Thacker.
Yay.
Passes 6-0.
This time, I need a motion for the adoption of the emergency clause.
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Kevin, roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell.
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson. Ms. Elliott.
Yay.
Ms. Gerber.
Yay.
Ms. Crafton.
Yay.
Mr. Thacker.
Yay.
Passes 6-0.
Not this one, right? This one's okay. Next piece of legislation is O-2013-25, an ordinance providing the issuance of bond anticipation notes in the principal renewal amount of $650,000 by Amelia Village, Ohio, in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of constructing road improvements in the village and declaring an emergency. This particular one is renewal of the bond for the Kroger project, and we had upped the price to cover other expenses that we incurred during construction. Anybody have any questions on this one?
It's still the same interest rate that we got before?
We're kind of just turning over the bond, waiting for Kroger's, once they open, the other store's open and the TIF money starts coming in, then that TIF money will pay the bond. It's almost like we're rolling it over is what we're doing. Any other questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to suspend the rules requiring 3 readings on 3 separate dates.
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Kevin, roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell.
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson.
Yay.
Ms. Elliott.
Yay.
Ms. Gerber.
Yay.
Ms. Crafton.
Yay.
Mr. Thacker.
Yay.
Passes 6-0.
This time I move for the adoption of the ordinance.
So moved.
I have a motion, I have a second. Kevin, roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell.
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson. Yay. Ms. Elliott.
Yay.
Ms. Gerber.
Yay.
Ms. Crafton.
Yay.
Mr. Thacker.
Yay.
Passes 6-0.
At this time, I need to move for the adoption of the emergency clause.
So moved.
Second.
I have a first and I have a second. Kevin, roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell.
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson. Yay. Ms. Elliott.
Yay.
Ms. Gerber.
Yay.
Ms. Crafton.
Yay.
Mr. Thacker.
Yay.
Passes 6-0.
Thank you. This time, is there any public input?
Got a couple things. They can't wait for 2 weeks. First of all, on a good note, I'll report this to the mayor, but, I always say, lock your car doors and shut your garage doors and everything else. Well, finally, we took a really big chunk out of this by catching an individual that's been up to this since March.
Yay.
So I'm going to be reiterating what Officer Woodward here, so you would realize the amount of effort that went into this. As a result of the rash of car break-ins dating back to March 30th, the officers of the Amelia Police Department conducted numerous foot patrols in the Quail Creek and Woodside subdivision during the early morning hours on Saturday, May 12th at 0200 hours. Officer Wood was on foot patrol in the Woodside Park Division. Officer Matulowicz was in the station area in his personal vehicle on Huntsman's Trace at Beach Circle. About 3:20, Officer Matulowicz observed subject walking north on Huntsman's Trace towards Grove Park, dressed in dark hooded jacket and black pants. Officer Woods positioned himself and to be able to observe the individual as he entered the Woodside Park subdivision. He didn't know that Officer Wood was right behind bushes within 2 feet of him walking by. He'd probably give him a heart attack if he'd have jumped out right there. But he waited. The subject was observed walking south on Woodside Park. The subject then went down Cedar Park Drive and observed walking the residents looking at 2 parked vehicles. The subject cut through the backyards east and came out on Ashwood Place. He was observed entering multiple cars in cul-de-sacs as the dome lights were starting to come on in the cars as he was entering them. After he did this, he continued to walk on Ashwood, entering driveways, looking in the cars. And Officer Woods, who was concealed behind a vehicle in the driveway located at 16 Ash. The subject was observed entering the property at 17 Ashwood, and as he opened the passenger door, Officer Wood rushed him to try to get him inside the car so he wouldn't have to run all that fast to catch him. Well, that didn't work out so well. He pulled his taser out but didn't use it. He said, "Police officers, please stop." He ended up tackling this young adult 2 yards later. So they apprehended him. To make a long story short, he was charged with multiple counts of theft dating back until March, and we were able to clear out a lot of cases. And he was also charged with other things, such as failure to obey a police officer and things like that.
Did you find my wallet? Or my keys? Nothing? No? All right, just checking.
But he did have some change, and this guy was the change bandit. That's all he wanted was change out of ashtrays. And a lot of them were officially reported. A lot of them, we went to the person who called the police, and we went there, and a couple of the neighbors walked out and said, "Hey, yeah, my car's gone through too." So they weren't officially counted. but it was just change and things like that. And he had a lot of gift cards from Body and Bath. Where he got those, I don't know, but he did. And he said those are the only things that he stole. And that's one thing. The other thing I want to do is I want to officially recommend that Renee Gerber be the council's liaison to the police department. I believe that Renee will be an excellent choice in assisting in an ongoing effort of the police department to run efficient and effective as possible for the citizens of Amelia.
Thank you. I make a motion. No.
I think you have to create a position for.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
And lastly, I want to make sure everybody's aware of this is National Peace Officers Memorial Week. This is why our badges are all covered throughout the state and the nation. On May 15th, which is tomorrow, is designated as Police Officers Memorial Day. This is created in federal law and signed by President Kennedy in 1962 and amended by President Clinton in 1994. It directs the flag of the United States to be flown at half-staff in tribute to all local, state, and federal law enforcement officers of the May 15th each year. In honor of the Police Officer Memorial Day, in accordance with orders from the President of the United States, Governor Casey asked that the flags be flown half-staff between public buildings and grounds throughout the state of Ohio from sunrise tomorrow morning until sunset. This past year, over 321 law enforcement officers made the ultimate sacrifice and gave their life for protection of their own villages and their police departments and in protection of property and life. That's what I recommend that we do that too.
Not a problem with that whatsoever.
That's all
All right. Would council like me to move forward with creating a position of liaisons to the police department?
The question I have is then what's safety committee for? Would that be more of a function of, I think that's why we created the safety committee? Maybe
I think the safety committee is the overall safety of the village itself. It doesn't really govern the police department independently. I think what David's looking for is one person from council to be a liaison strictly to the police department. Our safety committee looks over the playgrounds, street lights, anything it has to do, and everything it has to do with safety in the village. That's the difference. So if you want me to, I will move forward with that.
Make a motion, we create that.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Kevin, roll call, please.
Mr. Dickerson.
Yay.
Ms. Gerber.
Yay.
Mr. Campbell.
Yay.
Ms. Krafka.
Yay.
Mr. Thacker.
So I'd like to, I guess I didn't get all my questions answered. I'll go with,
Basically, David is wanting a liaison between this council and this mayor, one person that is our spokesperson that will work back and forth with the police department, besides myself. It's a non-paid job,
Oh, man.
I don't,
no money.
I get that,
And
but I don't.
I think what David's trying to do, and I agree with him, is, we are one entity here. We are not divided. We are one group. This council, the police department, the maintenance department, my managerial secretary, Lyndon, everybody here is one team, and we all want to be on the same page. We want to make it one team.
I mean, I get, I understand it. I'm not opposed to creating the position. I just would like to see a job description in front of me, that kind of stuff, before we go ahead and create a position. So I'm going to go ahead and vote no on it. That's kind of my reason.
So you're wanting a job description for a non-paying position.
I just.
If somebody's going to volunteer their service for
I would
it.
like to understand it better before I vote on it.
Okay, well, everybody's entitled to their vote, so that's fine. Where are we at on that?
Ms. Elliott.
So did we,
Passes 5-1.
so did you abstain then, or?
I'm voting no. Until I get the
Okay.
description.
That's fine.
I'll get around that.
Any other public input?
You just created a position, I don't think you
We
appointed
have to
it.
appoint somebody.
Yeah.
We're getting to that.
Okay. You
Okay.
take some further public input.
Well, I thought I was gonna, I was thinking I was gonna do a job description, like mowing the grass, cleaning up at the cemetery, and then helping David. I mean, you know,
You have to wash the police cars too.
washing the police cars.
Okay, I'm gonna draw the line there.
I was gonna make sure we got our money's worth.
Yeah.
Okay, then. With that,
No, not at all.
Because you're not getting paid. It looks like.
so would somebody like to make a motion of someone on council to be liaisons? And who would they like?
I would like to make the motion, Ms. Gerber be liaison to the police department.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Kevin, roll call, please.
Mr. Dickerson, Ms. Gerber,
Yeah.
Mr. Campbell,
Yay.
Ms. Krafka,
Yay.
Mr. Thacker,
Yay.
Ms. Elliott. Passes 6-0.
All right. Any other public input out there? I have a couple things before I open the floor to council. I had brought up at the last council meeting about a blacktopping contract with Nickel and Son Blacktopping for Oriole, Sparrow. I believe there was one other road, I don't see it in these minutes, to repair those. Do you want to move forward with that, or where do we stand as far as, we heard anything back from the county?
No.
Might as well get it taken care of. Those are the pictures that we saw last time.
Correct.
Okay.
It's right at about $7,000 is what the bid came in at to repair all that. So does finance feel like we have that to move forward with that?
I do.
Chuck?
Yeah, I mean, we do.
Okay, with that, I entertain a motion from council to enter into a contract with Jim Nickel and Son Blacktopping to go ahead not to exceed $7,000. Yes. We have to do that in an ordinance? Okay, well,
We'll do that in 2 weeks.
okay, well, I will let them know then, so that way.
Do we have that contract?
They sent me a bid.
Okay. Is there a contract?
It's pretty much a contract bid to do those 3 projects.
Okay.
I will move forward with getting that ordinance drawn up then. The only other thing I have is June 1st, Family Fun Walk. It is definitely a family fun walk and not a health walk. So for all those people who are worried, it's not a health walk. Bring the kids out. There are several items that will be given out. I think there's 2 bicycles, a couple bike helmets, a pass to a golf course,
Newport Aquarium.
Newport Aquarium passes, and all that's free. So if you do the 1 mile walk, you'll get a coupon ticket, and you can put that in for any of those items that they're giving away, and somebody will walk away with those. It starts at 7:30 registration, 8 o'clock the health walk starts. There will also be a group of people here that will do your height, weight, and BMI. And,
No, you won't.
we have several vendors coming. We have Ohio State's coming with their stuff, so it'll be a fun morning. Please come. And that's all I have. So with that, I'll open the floor to council.
Can I read this email aloud?
You can definitely read that email aloud. Absolutely.
All right. Since I am the new appointed liaison to the police department, we got an email from a citizen. I know Chief got it, but I wanted to pass it along to everybody else. It says, hello, I wanted to take time out of my busy schedule to personally thank the police department for helping me feel safe. I live alone, went out to my truck, and there was a police officer watching the complex. I work a lot, I am not home much, but I always worry about my belongings. Your department has renewed my faith in the police force. Thank you for all that you do. Relieved Citizen from Mallard Glen Apartments. Can I say her name or
I
prefer
would
not?
probably just leave it.
Okay.
So tell Jeff he wasn't hiding real good.
And
I think it's fantastic. You know, with this rash of car thieves, this gentleman was very, very hard to catch, and I personally think they went a little above and beyond
absolutely.
to do what they did. So kudos to Mr. Wood and Ms. Matulowicz, definitely.
Thank you for all you guys do, especially since it's Appreciation Month. We appreciate that.
Any other council input?
I have something. I don't know if everybody is aware of this or not, but the county is still working towards expanding the runway at Claremont County Airport to allow for jets to come in and out. And if you don't know by being buzzed by the aircraft we have now, you know that we're in the flight path of all this. So I just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention, start collecting input from residents and also people that are here, just to see what everybody's thinking. Their idea is to bring more commerce by bringing in the small corporate jets, but who's going to sacrifice for that? So we want to start a discussion between us, the county, residents, before it just happens one day. I don't know that it's, taking place right away. I know they're in discussions. And, I feel we all knew when we moved here, it was a general aviation airport right next to us. But, we took into account it was piston engine aircraft and not jets. So that's a big step. So I just want to raise the awareness out there, let everybody know, send us your comments, so we can start a dialogue and see where this all goes.
And we will be in the flight path. Any other council input? Our next council meeting will be Tuesday, May 28th at 7 p.m. here. Don't forget, we also have our Memorial Day Parade coming up, correct? That will be the 27th. I think they started, is it 9, Chief? Is it 8? And they'll be going from Tire Discounter to the elementary school. And if everybody could come out, bring a flag and wave a flag and show your support to the veterans, it would be greatly appreciated by myself and all the other veterans. And if there's nothing else, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much.